Hello, thank you for joining us today for our second baking session. If you missed our first baking session for our cupcakes that we did yesterday, you need to go back and watch that program. We had a lot of fun with that one.
We did have a lot of fun.
So there's our cupcakes right there. We tried to make some animals. Some of them look more like the animal than maybe others. But anyway, today we have a special treat for you. But first, before we go into what we're doing, just wanted to introduce ourselves. You may be wondering, who are they? I know you typically see a lot of Facebook Lives and programs with Ken Ham, Bodie Hodge, Dr. Purdom, even all the wonderful animals at the Ark Encounter and the Creation Museum. And so I'm Renee Hodge. I'm the administrator at 12 Stones Christian Academy. It is a Christian school that's under the umbrella of Answers in Genesis. And we have a great academic program there, and we really build our program on biblical authority with a strong biblical worldview. So to learn more about the school, you can go to tschristianacademy.org. But another actually connection that I have is I'm married to Bodie Hodge, for those of you that know Bodie. He's a speaker, writer, researcher over there at Answers in Genesis. And he typically does a lot of the Facebook Lives because he has the gift of the gab. So I'm doing this one here today. And then my other connection as well is that I'm Ken Ham's eldest daughter, the favorite.
Excuse me, the baby of the family is always the favorite.
Says who? So this is my youngest sister, Christelle. We have a lot of fun together. I don't know, Christelle. They told me that they stopped with you because you were just too much to handle.
Nope, they finally reached the perfect child, so they decided not to have any more.
You can think all you want, my dear. So actually, Christelle works at Answers in Genesis as well. In the advancement department.
I do.
And this is our wonderful mom, Mally. So this is Ken Ham's wife.
Okay, let's settle this once and for all. Which of us is the favorite?
Well, Danielle's not here, so I'd say Danielle's the favorite.
You're a traitor. All right. So there's actually a picture of us three sisters with our mom. We're a very close-knit family. We really do have a lot of fun together. So today, our special treat, we are doing two things for you. One of them is a caramel tart. It is an Australian recipe. I don't think I've ever heard of an American baking a caramel tart. Have you all?
I haven't.
No. Now, all you Americans that are watching, if you make a caramel tart, please let us know. I would love to know that there are Americans that do make caramel tarts. For those of you who don't know, you're in for a really special dessert, and a caramel tart is super easy to make. So let's go over here, Christelle, and if you want to show us how you make a caramel tart.
So you want to buy sweetened condensed milk, and you want to make sure you get the can without the pull tab. So no pull tab, just a regular can, sweetened condensed milk.
Otherwise, it might explode as you cook it.
Otherwise, it might explode as you cook it. So no pull tab. And then you take the label off. So make sure if you're making this and you take the label off, you don't decide not to make it because then you have a can without the label and you won't know what it is in a while. So you put it in water, make sure it's covered with the water. And then you boil it, bring it to a boil, and then turn it down to simmer. So like a light boil. Mm-hmm. And you leave it there for 2 hours and around 15 minutes. And make sure the water doesn't go down past the can. So you want to keep an eye on it and maybe add more boiling water every so often. So turn it on.
So do you cook it with the lid on?
I do, because it keeps the water from evaporating more.
Yeah, that's a good idea. A lot of times what I do when I cook caramel tart is I'll have some boiling water that I've already boiled on hand. So then if it does go down, you just instantly add that boiling water to it.
I boil it up before I add.
Yes. Okay.
So in the impressiveness of cooking on, a show or pre-cooking things, we have everything already all cooked. They're all done. They're all cool, nearly cool. So this is what it will look like when it's done.
This is what 2.5 hours of boiling sweetened condensed milk will give you. It will give you pure caramel for all you caramel lovers. My husband is a huge caramel lover, and he could literally just eat it out of the can. So do we have a tin opener, Christelle? And we can open these?
Yes.
Now, we did 3 cans here, so how many pie shells does that do? 3 tins of sweetened condensed milk.
I usually add two tins of condensed milk to one. Well, this is a graham cracker crust. We really cheat. So I put 2 tins in that, and I've got some mini ones over there, individual graham cracker crust. So I'll do a number of those with the other 10 that I have.
Okay, so 2 tins for one pie shell, for a bigger pie shell. And after you put the caramel in there, you put it in the fridge for it to set for a little bit. And then what we like to put on top is fresh whipped cream. It's like the cherry on top, I guess.
That's right.
The whipped cream on top. And then, boom, you have a caramel tart, instant dessert. So it takes, again, just a little bit of boiling it and then a little bit to set in the refrigerator, and you have a really, really nice dessert. I will say it is pretty rich, isn't it?
It's very rich, yes. You'll only want a small slice.
Now, a lot of Australian desserts aren't too super sweet. That's what I love so much about Australian desserts. They're just, you don't take that bite and it's like, oh, that's overly sugary.
Yes.
Most of them are very mild. I actually have some friends, and we have them over from time to time, and I cook some special Australian desserts for them, like pavlova and lamingtons. And now one of them in the family, he typically does not have desserts at all because he just says they're too sweet. But he loves eating the Australian desserts because they're not sickly sweet. So that's another plus for Australian desserts.
Yes, they're amazing.
So you got to kind of smooth it down a little bit as it comes out of the can. Good job, Mom. We're putting our poor mom to work today.
I think this is the bigger graham cracker crust.
Oh,
You
okay.
can get 2 sizes.
2 different sizes of graham cracker crust. This is the bigger one.
Yes,
I
you
guess,
might be able to add another can to the bigger one.
or more whipped cream.
Yeah, or more
I
whipped
like
cream.
lots of whipped cream.
Yes.
How's that?
That looks delicious.
It
So
does.
for those of you who missed our program on cupcakes, we have my son's birthday is tomorrow, and that's why we made the cupcakes for him with our previous program. And so I'm really hoping that this caramel tart and our no-bake cheesecake ends over there as well for my son's birthday dinner.
I don't know, I might keep the cheesecake.
Oh, you think, huh? We'll have to arm wrestle about that one. Or I need at least a slice.
One slice.
All right, and then again, if you buy the mini pie shells, then you get your own individual little serving.
Okay, it won't come out.
Oh, that looks perfect.
Yeah, good job.
Very nice. And then you can add a dab of whipped cream on top of that as well. We find that it's a little harder to find the individual shells, the pie shells. So whenever we find them in a store, we kind of buy them in bulk and save up on them.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And then if you guys have a really nice pie shell recipe that you would love to share with us, we would love to hear about that as well. I'm not a real baker. I think if there was one person that I could hire to help me, it would be a cook, because I'm just not a cook. I would even take a cook over a maid. I don't mind cleaning and laundry and all that, but I really would love a cook. I try to tell my mom to just, cook a little extra of dinner every night and deliver it to my house, but I just can't seem to get her to do that. That would be really nice. I mean, I'm willing to pay for someone to cook my food. I don't know. I'll pay you, Mom.
No.
I'll put my husband to work.
Your husband's a good cook.
He's okay. We have very different tastes, him and I. He is a true blue American. Is
that is true.
And I'm a true blue Australian. So my husband, for those of you that know Bodie Hodge, he kind of grew up a little bit out in the middle of nowhere. And the first time I came to his house, I walked past a pail, and it had a whole bunch of skinned animals in there. And I was like, "What are they?" He's like, "They're squirrels." I'm like, "Wait, what do you do with them?" And they're all skinned nicely, sitting in this bucket. They eat them. I had never heard of anyone eating squirrels. I don't know. I guess I lived a sheltered
You've
life.
never heard of squirrel stew or?
No.
Oh.
I had no idea that people ate squirrels. So anyway, that's why I don't let my husband cook for me very often.
I believe Buddy and Kay Davis, if you know Buddy Davis, he also enjoys squirrel stew.
Oh, does he? I have to ask Buddy. Oh, I don't know. Got some warped taste buds there. Okay, so we go ahead and put that, I guess, in the fridge. We can put that in the fridge and we can let it set. And then we are going to start a no-bake cheesecake. I know a lot of times in America, it's the New York style.
Yeah, the New York style cheesecake. A lot of cheesecakes are baked over here.
Yes.
I haven't come across many no-bake cheesecakes. If you have a good no-bake cheesecake recipe, let us know. We'd be interested to hear.
Yes, this one's super simple because it only has, how many ingredients does it have? I need to look at the recipe. So it has 4 ingredients: cream cheese, sweetened condensed milk, lemon juice, and vanilla. So again, this is a very simple, easy dessert that you can make, and then all it needs is just time to set in the refrigerator a little bit. But I don't like the New York style cheesecakes.
This is my favorite cheesecake recipe out there. I don't care for the baked very much.
I don't either. You know the Cheesecake Factory, how some people just love the Cheesecake Factory to go to? I couldn't care less about going there. Nope, I need no baked cheesecake. Okay, so what we're doing here is just whipping up the cream cheese.
Make sure it's room temperature.
Room temperature is definitely a key, as well as just really beating it. You want to beat it so it's really, really smooth, and that's what helps make it so smooth and creamy at the end. So just stir it up really well. You can also use a hand beater as well. All right, and then once that's beaten, is that a word? Once it has been beaten up, we will add the sweetened condensed milk to that.
So we grew up on these recipes our whole lives, having a bunch, Australian desserts, Australian food. In Australia, they don't have Thanksgiving. It's an American thing. So when we came over and we started, making Thanksgiving meals, instead of your turkey and cranberry sauce and mashed potato and gravy, we would have roast lamb with mint sauce. And what do you most remember?
Oh, about growing up with Australian foods?
Cauliflower with the white sauce.
Cauliflower with white sauce. We actually got the best of both worlds because we grew up on Australian foods, and then we lived in America also, so we incorporated, some of those American foods as well. But I think a big difference that I noticed between Australian and American, and I don't know if it's so much like this anymore in Australia, but a lot of Australians like to cook from scratch. Mom would just cook everything from scratch. I mean, all her desserts, her icing, all the dinner, just everything. And it wasn't so much all these casseroles where you add all this sour cream and butter and all that. It was a lot of just meat and veggies, just very healthy food. I think Americans really try to spice up their food, with all those extra ingredients, and it's very flavorful. I'll give you that. Maybe not as healthy, but so we kind of got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, we did.
And at Thanksgiving time, we very rarely cook a turkey. We might cook a small turkey for all these in-laws that we have now in our family who have to have a turkey for Thanksgiving.
We added pumpkin pie to our dessert list
Oh,
because
yes.
one of the in-laws really enjoys pumpkin pie.
The things you have to do for these in-laws,
Yeah, I
I don't know. My husband is one of them. So yeah, we actually our special meals at Christmas and Thanksgiving, they're always a little interesting because it is a little of Australian and American and all that mixed in together. So, and we got some good cooks in the family. Like our mom's dad used to be a chef, and then our dad's mom, Nana, she was a really good cook as well. So, oh, that looks really good, Mom. Looks really good. Looks very smooth. So, is it time to add in the sweetened condensed milk? Make sure the speed is pretty low when you add this. If you wonder why, go ahead and try it at speed 10. See what happens. Let us know.
Take pictures.
Yeah. Might be cleaning up your ceiling for a little bit. Oh, that's one thing we wanted to mention about the caramel tart is once it has boiled, do not open it right away, okay? If you open it right away once you take it out of hot water, you will end up with caramel on the ceiling. And yes, we have done that before, so we know. So you want it to cool, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, it cools down fairly quickly.
Yeah, so 15 to 30 minutes, but definitely want to make sure it cools. And a lot of times what we do is we'll put the can opener in just a little bit and then take it off and see if it's like going to squirt out, okay? If it doesn't, then you know you're good and you can open the whole can. So definitely want to make sure we tell them.
I didn't know that, actually.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
And you wondered why we told you to cool it.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I thought it was because it was too hot to touch. I didn't know there was another reason.
Yes, it's going to explode. All right, so we've added the sweetened condensed milk. Once you add it, as you just saw Mom here doing, get a spatula and just mix it up really well together too, because sometimes that cream cheese likes to really stick to the bottom of the mixing bowl here. So you want to really try to mix those up together. And then you have lemons that we're squeezing. And I think you could probably cheat on this a little bit. You could buy lemon juice that's already been squeezed. But like I said, we like to do everything from scratch. So we get the fresh lemons, we squeeze them ourselves.
We can juggle with the lemons a little bit before we squeeze them.
Oh, you should have tried to juggle.
Oh, I can't juggle.
You can't? Well,
No,
me neither.
I've tried to juggle and just can't do it.
Here, I can juggle. I'll show you.
I don't think that's true juggling.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Looks like juggling to me. I don't know how those jugglers do it. All right. So that's looking really good. It's really smooth. That's what you want. If your cream cheese isn't room temperature, it's going to be really chunky in there, and then it's not going to be a nice, smooth cheesecake.
You know, we have a pineapple cheesecake recipe somewhere, don't we?
We do. I think it's the basic recipe like this, but I think you also add in a little gelatine as well, and then you drain the crushed pineapple and you add pineapple in. That's actually one of Dad's favorite recipes is the pineapple cheesecake. Yeah, I think that looks great. All right, so we'll add the vanilla. I love the flavoring of vanilla. Sometimes when it says 1 teaspoon, I might put in 2. That's just me though. And then the lemon juice. Okay, so this might be a silly thing or question, but what's the purpose of the lemon juice? Is it to help set it or is it just for the flavor?
Well, it helps set it.
It does? Okay.
Yeah, and it gives it a nice flavour.
Okay, there we go.
I'm glad somebody knew that because I didn't.
I know, I was like, should I ask that question or not? Is anyone going to know? If not, we got plenty of you all that can help us. I'm sure we have some wonderful moms and experienced cooks out there watching. All right, and then we just beat all those ingredients together. Now, my favorite part about all of this is once you put the mixture into the pie shell is to lick the bowl. I'm not a cake batter licker. I feel weird about raw eggs. I don't know about you. Like, my son could eat cookie dough and any type of batter, but since this doesn't have any raw eggs in it, I could eat this batter.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Really?
You know what? I will be the kind-hearted sister that I am, and I will let you have the bowl all to yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. You're very generous today, Christelle. Yeah, that is so smooth. Look at that go in there. Really good.
It's beautiful.
Smell those lemons. All right, so one thing after we do with the cheesecake, once it sets as well, is put whipped cream on it too. And we love having fresh fruit on our cheesecake. So you can see we love just getting an assortment of berries and put those on top of the cheesecake and whipped cream. And it
Now,
is
our
a
whipped
perfect
cream,
dessert.
we don't buy whipped cream. We whip our cream from heavy whipping cream. Some whipped cream recipes I know have sugar and some flavoring. We don't do anything. We just whip the cream, and there it is.
Best type of whipped cream. So yeah, we don't use the can spray whipped cream or anything like that. There you go. So just like the heavy whipping cream. I always get nervous when I whip up whipping cream because a long time ago someone said, be careful you don't whip it so much that you turn it into butter. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm always nervous when I whip it up. So, is it turning into butter yet?
You know what? My grandfather, when we were visiting Australia, he was trying to teach me how to whip cream. And I had no idea what I was doing, so I was like, oh, look at that. And he turned his back, and I over-whipped it. And he said, oh, I'll make that into butter later. Put it aside and started me again.
So how do you make whipped cream into butter?
I'm assuming you just whip it. Okay, if any of you know how to make butter, let us know.
Yes.
Christelle, how does this go on? I just don't want the cream to splatter around.
Yeah, I think
I
it
can
just
hold
sits,
it on.
sits there. There you go.
Okay, so I just learned something new. I don't have one of these fancy tops to my mix master, and when I beat cream, I make a little bit of a mess. Sometimes I'll put like a towel or something over it so the whipped cream doesn't fly out. I had no idea that they had this accessory.
This is nice.
That's very nice.
It's not splattering anywhere.
No, that looks really good. So this whips for about 3 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's not long.
Yeah, not long. So all of you out there who's never actually whipped cream before, this is very easy.
Unless you don't know when to stop it, in which case that part's a little difficult.
Well, then at least you'll have plenty of butter. You won't have a shortage, so you'll be good on butter for a while, right?
That's right.
All right. And then that is our caramel tart then, and our no-bake cheesecake.
That's right.
Again, very, very simple recipes. It is so much better just making things from scratch. We love to do that. And I think a lot of times it's just time. People just don't have the time to do it. You know, we live in such a very fast-paced society. You know, oh, we just got to run to the store and pick up cupcakes. Oh, we just need dessert for tomorrow. But especially during this time when you're at homes a little bit more during COVID-19, think about making some fun recipes like this. I think your family would really enjoy it.
Creates a lot of memories cooking together.
It does. It does.
Is it done?
Oh, it does look good.
So,
Very nice.
yep, take a look. That's what it looks like when it's done.
I love whipped cream with strawberries. I'm not a chocolate and strawberry person. You know, like you like that though, don't you? Dipped strawberries in chocolate.
I do.
Yeah.
Actually, between you and me, don't tell Mom, I don't like whipped cream.
You don't like whipped cream? I actually really like whipped cream. I love my fruit with whipped cream. Oh, that looks really good. So here we go. We got whipped cream, cheesecake,
And the berries.
fruit,
Oh, yummy.
and caramel
caramel
tart. And then they set in the fridge, and you have
Just for a couple hours, right?
yeah, I would say 2 hours. 2 hours. You're the expert here. We're trying to look like we know what we're
I
talking
just pulled
about.
a number out of a hat, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I would say 1 to 2 hours. And you know what? If it's a little sloppy, it still tastes as good. It just might be a little sloppy. I hope you've enjoyed cooking with us. We should turn this into a cooking show.
We should. We have so many more recipes to share with you.
Yes. All right. Well, hopefully we'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining us.